Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today I have a special guest. He's an author, and he has a book out right now that's called End Dream, and he's working on the follow-up, which is called Third Dead Eyes. Woo! I have with us author Darren Fry. Darren, welcome to the Horror Room.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to have you on, man. It's a pleasure to have you on. So, first, let's jump into your most recent book that's out right now, and that's End Dream. Tell us a little bit about End Dream.
Okay, well, In Dreams is the sequel, I guess, to Psychonautic, which I released in 2021, and it's a vampire story. I guess to get into that, like back up a little bit, like Psychonautic it's a vampire story, but it's also partially about my own life. Like the main character, Julian Frost, his past is based on my own, and I guess you could say it's kind of meta. Like I started writing it when I was living in Las Vegas, just after I moved to get away just from everybody I knew. I grew up in Virginia, and so just like that, and from there, it's like the character meets a female vampire named Violet, and they hit it off, and she kind of brings him into his world, and he starts learning about her and her vampire family, and then he's given the choice if he wants to join her. And that's pretty much like what the first book is about, just kind of deciding if he wants to become a vampire, dealing with his past, trying to let things go. And just like kind of like when I was writing it, I was trying to let go of things from my own past. But then in Dreams, it's kind of like the fallout of the way Psychonautic ends. Julian's trying to find just meaning in his new life, come into his new powers, and just trying to just pick himself up again, because the way the first book ends, it just kind of opens his whole world up to this whole new world, and just more or less about discovering himself as a vampire in the world around him. And
I would say that's something pretty powerful. What you said that a lot of authors, I asked them, they said that a lot of the characters or the main character, they kind of base it loosely on themselves. Now, as an author, do you feel like you're talking about moving from Virginia to Las Vegas and like hitting that reset button? Do you think by putting yourself character, putting kind of your story in there, do you think it kind of helps you reset a little bit?
Yeah, actually, that was really the point of me writing it. Like it was only a couple of years out of a very toxic 11-year relationship, and when I moved to Las Vegas, I started, working with a lot of like shamanic medicine, like, like just mushrooms, ayahuasca, and stuff, just trying to locate the source of my trauma. And I kind of had this vision, to just write about it. Like I'd had these vampires in my mind, like these characters in my mind for so long, but I just couldn't really think of how to bring it all together. And I just kind of had that aha moment where like, okay, just use this as a way to kind of, write things from many different characters, like real people in my life that I made into characters, like from their perspective and their point of view, and try to, it's like a source of healing, really. And it helped a lot. And that's pretty much how it all began. And then moving forward with the second book, it's not so much about my own past, but it's just kind of like a branching off of the events of the first book. But yeah, it was very therapeutic, and yeah, very, very helpful. It did help me hit the reset button.
What is an ayahuasca high like? Tell me about that.
It's not like mushrooms. I'll tell you that. It's different. It's very almost as physical as it is psychological. Like I had to prepare myself for like a month beforehand. There was a specific diet that I had to be on, like very strict, certain types of vegetables, and it was rigorous. Like I was in a room with like 7 other people, and they did not follow the diet like they should have, and they were sitting there like the whole time, just violently hurling into little plastic buckets, and I was getting kind of sick, but I guess I followed the diet more. There's a lot that goes into it. It's a very, you have to like really just discipline yourself and grind yourself to go into it. But as far as like the high itself goes, it was like it kind of took me out of consciousness. Like it was more of like a dream, but it was very, very lucid, just a very man, that it was an experience.
Is that something you would ever do again, or no?
Probably not. I mean, I did it 2 nights in a row. I was supposed to do it 3 nights, but like because it was a full retreat weekend. It was meant to be done 3 nights, and the second night just scared the hell out of me because the first night was interesting. It was intense. The second night, going deeper, it started getting into just some really just deep, dark, emotional stuff that even I didn't realize I wasn't ready for yet. And it was, but yeah, it was, yeah, I that third night, I was like, no, I opted out of the third night.
Because I mean, I hear it's pretty intense, and I hear a lot of creatives do it because it opens up a channel in their brain that normally is blocked.
Yeah.
There's nothing I would ever try because it sounds. I've heard about the Thrown Up previously when I was in ayahuasca, but I didn't know that there was a special diet you have to follow in order to do it.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody does it, but it's just the diet, though, it kind of helps to cleanse your body, and it makes it to where it's easier for the medicine to get in your system, and it keeps you from getting as sick. Like I said, there was others there who were getting violently ill, and I did, I did throw up a little bit, but not like they did, and the healers afterwards even told me that they could tell that I had really put a lot of like work and effort into going into it, and it was something that I wasn't really looking at it as a quote unquote drug trip. I was wanting to get the full benefit of it. I wasn't going into it just to see cool colors and feel a little funny, because if that was the case, I would have just like took some mushrooms or dropped acid or something. But, yeah, it was something I took serious. It was something I took a lot from. That's where I got the message to write Psychonautic and use that for my healing, and I did, and it's, for the most part, it's worked. I mean, I've still got a lot, I think, that I do still need to deal with, but it did help tremendously, though.
Now, was your intentions to always make this a trilogy or a 3-book series, or was that something that once you finish the first one, you're like, I feel like there's more to the story that I haven't told yet?
Well, I knew that I wanted there to be more than one, but originally I was thinking, maybe I could write 4 or 5 or something, but then I was like, nah, I think I'd rather it just be 3 and have it kind of follow the 3-act story structure. I mean, each one is going to have its own beginning, middle, and end, tell its own individual story, but they're also going to kind of come together. Like once the 3rd book is finished, like they could all be in like one book, and it would tell one complete story. If it's something I'm considering doing,
Okay. So let's dive into you're working on the 3rd book, which will be released soon, and that's called Third Dead Eyes. Tell us a little bit about Third Dead Eyes.
Yeah, 3 Dead Eyes. It's okay. Yeah, it's the 3rd book. Yet again, the main character, Julian Frost, at the end of In Dreams, he kind of has just everything turned upside down. It's just the whole series is just twists and turns, just out of nowhere. And Through Dead Eyes, he is more on his own. Like in the first book, Violet, his lover, she's there to kind of guide him, and he has a mentor. And then in the second book, there are others who are bringing him further into this vampire world that he's just discovering and learning about things that he never even knew existed, but he still had somebody there basically like holding his hand through it, helping him. And then this one though, it's kind of like he's on his own. He's got there's this prophecy that this, so to speak, something that he feels that he has to do, and he's kind of trying to tell himself like, no, I don't want to do that, but what if? And I guess it's a little difficult to explain without going into some big huge thing about the first two, but it is more or less like him coming into his power on his own and wreaking havoc. I mean, there's going to be a lot of violence in this one compared to the other two, but it's going to be fun. Yeah.
So, as a reader, once I read this third one, am I going to feel like I'm going to have some closure, or am I going to be, or is the door still going to be open to some type of other, I don't want to say sequel, but some type of other universe opening?
It's a very good question. As for Julian, this is his final chapter in his story. You will get closure in that, but as far as the vampire story itself goes, there's other characters who have things going on. This is just really like a small piece in this whole world. There was lots of things happening before Julian ever came along, and there will be lots of things happening after he's gone. So yeah, eventually I would like to write a fourth book. I've got some other projects that I would like to work on first to kind of take a little bit of a break from this. But yeah, picking up from the point of view of another character, yeah, there will be a fourth book eventually, and then beyond that, I'm not sure yet.
Speaking of outside of this story, you have another book that you're working on. Boy, Darren, you're not playing around. You're knocking these books out quick. You have Keen Mountain. Tell us a little about Keen Mountain.
Okay, Keen Mountain is it's a story about a billionaire coal mining tycoon who has passed away, and he left behind 4 children and 1 orphaned grandson. And when he died, he had no heir to his company and his fortunes. So he basically, in his will, he states that his children have to fight it out, really, and then whoever's left is the one that's left will become the heir. But there's more to it than just that. There's lots of dark secrets, things that they all need to atone for, and this is just his way. Like the main, not the main character, but Victor Keen, the man who dies. This is his way of getting the last laugh, and it's so this is basically Family Feud on steroids, more or less.
So I mean, but this is a change in genre for you. I mean, going from vampires to a more of a cerebral story. Was that something easy to transition into?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's like with the vampire stories. It's not strictly horror. There are lots of dark horror elements, lots of suspense, and with this one, there's going to be suspense and mystery. But this one would be more of a horror novel than the others, because with the others, there's so many characters. They all have their own stories, that some going back like 1,000 years, so that one would be more, the vampires are more with dark fantasy, I would suppose, while this one is pretty straightforward. There's just one story really, and I've not really had much of an issue with the whole transitioning thing. I mean, I've been taking a little bit of a break from Through Dead Eyes to work on this the last couple of days, and I've already I've gotten 3,000 words written on it, and I'm pretty excited about it, and I feel like this might actually this could be better than my others. Honestly, I think so.
Nice. I'm definitely looking forward to Darren. All right, so Darren, you are big into the horror writing scene, and you follow the horror writing scene. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on in the last couple months in the indie horror scene. I mean, everything from Psychotoxin Press to pretty well known splatterpunk authors. Please give us your opinion or idea on what's going on right now in indie horror.
Well, it's a mess. It's just a lot of craziness going on. A lot of people on edge, and it's getting really hard to really talk about anything. I mean, the people in question. I mean, I never spoke to them or anything. I don't really know them. I mean, I know of the situation and everything, but I feel kind of like it's getting to a point where it's even difficult to talk about. Like, a lot of people though that know me, that follow me, they'll know that I say a lot of things that a lot of people are afraid to, I guess, and so I just personally, I mean, I could see why a lot of people would take offense to it, why they would be talking about it, but I also kind of feel like a lot of people have been blowing a lot of things out of proportion in certain ways. Just other rumors and things are getting started pertaining to other people, and it's just, I think people need to just kind of just chill out and just take a breath and kind of hit the reset button on that and just realize that we're all here for the same reason. We're all here for we all have a passion, for writing, and we're, for the most part, nobody's anybody's enemy. So I think, as they say, can't we all just get along?
Yeah. But listen, this is not me saying anybody's right or wrong, right? But what happened to people who are innocent to their proven guilty? Like, we're in a society right now where we will cancel somebody without all the evidence being put out there or this person even being found guilty. Exactly. And I think that is so fucked up, because even if that person is found not guilty, it's done at that point. They still have that label, you're a rapist, you're whatever. That label literally will follow a man for the rest of his life, even if he's found not guilty. And I just think that's really fucked up. I've noticed that in society. I'm not saying, listen, I'm not taking sides for anybody, but like, it's just insane that people are willing to cancel someone just based off of one side of the story.
Exactly, because people, and I've noticed when people have a big following, particularly like in social media, all they really got to do is just say this person did that, offer no proof, just offer whatever context they prefer, and then everybody's just automatically like, okay, let's go grab our torches and pitchforks, and
let's go. Like, yeah. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen someone alter a text message thread, post it up in the indie group, and it was completely out of context. I've seen that with my own eyes. So I know that you cannot believe everything everyone says. Like, you can't believe one side of the story. You have to listen to multiple sides of the story to get an opinion, because things can be blown out of context. People's feelings can get hurt. People take stuff personal. You just don't know. And I try not to. Me, Travis Bruce, I've been guilty of doing this myself, but I've been working on it, trying not to judge someone just because of accusations. Not that they're found guilty, not that, that it's out there, just one side of the story. You really can't do that, because that's unfair, and majority of people would not want that done to them.
Exactly. And I've kind of been the victim somewhat of this firsthand. I won't name the name, because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus or anything. But in the past, I've had it out with somebody who went as far as, I don't know if this person was their friend or what, but they went and had this person message them on Facebook Messenger and saying, hey, you leave my friend alone or I'll come find you and I'll fuck you up. And I didn't know who this person was, but the person that I was having the issue with screenshot it and went and posted it on their page and was like, look, Darren Fry sent this person after me. And I had them blocked, but somebody came and told me about it, and I saw it, and I saw the person's name who had said it. So I looked them up and messaged them. And I'm like, hey, what's this about? And they just blocked me. Like, I don't know what, but I saw the comments that were being left, and people were like, let's go find him and fuck him up, and then the guy's like, yeah, but he's blind. I'd hate to go down for a hate crime and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? Like why is this guy doing this? And so yeah, I mean, I know exactly. It's just if they have a big enough following, they can do whatever they want and warp the context to fit their narrative in whatever way. And
Darren, listen, I'm coming out. I'm coming out live and saying I've had it done to me recently, where I'm not saying any names, but someone literally took a message that I was sending them regarding an interview that were coming to my show and doing, and literally cut huge chunks out and interpreted it and put it up and interpreted it for the way they wanted people to see it. And it was absolute crazy because it was. Now the person didn't name me, name it as me, but like, oh, this guy is disgusting, and I was like, what the fuck? And it was people who I knew were saying, oh my god, this guy must be a freak. He must be disgusting. Let's cancel him. Let's blah 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 blah. And I just saw it with my own eyes. I was like, wow, boom, witch hunt. Like, we're in that part in society right now that someone can say something or post something that's photoshopped or whatever, and it just goes out there and people jump on it and people believe it, and it's fucking scary, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's scary too to be a man in society today, because society believes everything a woman says, and it's scary.
The screenshots are like their weapon of choice. I mean, that's everybody. They love the screenshots, I absolutely, I do agree with you, and it's sad though that we've come to that though, where we have, where we're made to feel that way. But it's true though, it's true. I mean, look at what happened to Johnny Depp, Marilyn Manson. It's just all people. Just all somebody has to do is a female does have to do is come forward and say, hey, they did this. And I mean, I'm not saying men can be pieces of shit too,
100%. But at the same time, just because it's a man and just because it's a woman, you cannot just jump on and believe the woman's side. Like, you have to. But I say it all the time, even when it came out for the Christopher Pelton of Psychotoxin. And him and I had a little beef offline and so forth. And I said, Christopher, I never ever said once on my show that I believe any of those accusations against you. I never said that. I said on my show, these are accusations. And you have not been charged or found guilty of these accusations. That's what I said. Plain and simple. So I do not. Listen. Now, do I believe some things? Of course I believe some things. If it's in my face, if it's clear as day, I'm like, okay, I believe that. But like screenshots and text messages and stuff like that, I'm not saying that the person didn't do it. I'm not. Listen, I'm not taking sides or anything. But I am not willing to cancel someone just because of one side of the story. I'm just not going to do that. I'm not. Travis Bruce and Harlem would not do that anymore because I had that shit done to me and it felt fucking bad. It felt really fucking bad, and I was like, "Ooh, I I do not want to do that to someone else and start calling them a bad person and this and that. And what if it's a lie? What if it's made up? Like, that's bad.
Yeah, and in regards to that, like in regards to the people, you know, how this topic got brought up, the people that weren't originally in question, because of that, now there's somebody else who women are coming and saying, oh well, they sent me, you know, unsolicited pictures, and so now like a whole other person's getting thrown under the bus because all these other people are coming out on these other two people. People are just suddenly coming out like, oh well, that happened to me too. Like they're me tooing it basically, and
it's a witch hunt.
Yeah, it is.
It becomes a witch hunt, and I'm gonna lose some female subscribers for this, but no, it's a witch hunt. I mean, it's being handled the wrong way.
Where's the proof on that? Like, okay, so what are they? It just kind of seems like they're using that opportunity to throw somebody else under the bus, and who knows why? You know, there could be some agenda there. You know, like why they're doing that to maybe take the focus off of somebody else. You know, so I don't know. I mean, and then like the things that I had said before, you know, about certain people. I had other people that were close to them coming at me and threatening me and everything, and it's so yeah, like people are. A lot of the stuff is coming out though. The truth is starting to come out about a lot of people, and I think, you know, hopefully, you know, eventually everything will come out into the light, and the right people will be dealt with, and we can just move on. You know, we can move on and get better because, as I said, you know, we're all here because we love horror. You know, we're literature enthusiasts, and all this other shit, it's not necessary.
Yes, and I'm gonna say something too. Men, we need to be more fucking appropriate too. Not every woman wants to fuck you or this and that and blah blah blah. Just keep it professional. That's the best advice I can give any fucking man in the horror community, any profession. Just keep it professional, 100%.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do not hit on women. Do not flirt with women. This and that. Guess what? Switch up the roles. If women are interested in a man, they have to pursue the man. Because as men, we got to cut that shit off, and we can't pursue them anymore. We just can't. It's too dangerous. It's too dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Darren, where can everyone find you, my friend?
Okay, you can find me on Facebook, Darren Fry Author, or just type in Darren Fry, send me a friend request, like my page, because I have both. I'm on YouTube. I don't really have much on YouTube pertaining to my writing. I just have a lot of random shit on there. I'm on Instagram at Darren Fry Author, and I'm on Amazon. You know, look, just type in my name, Darren Fry, Frey. You know, and you'll find the first book that'll come up will be something by James Fry or Frey or something. But then then the next two are mine. You know, it's a shame to have my name in and somebody else before me. But you can find me there, and I'm also, you know, I've been recently doing some editing work for Nightmare Press. So, you know, if you submit a book to Nightmare Press, you know, you might get me as an editor. Who knows? You know, fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's awesome. Listen, Darren, you're more than welcome to come on anytime, man. Listen, when 3 Dead Eyes comes out, I'd like to have you back on. We can talk about that.
It's three dead eyes.
That's what. What did I say? It's third, right? Third, like
through THROUGH through.
Oh, through. Okay, through okay. Dead Eyes, guys. Yeah. Not through Dead Eyes. When through Dead Eyes.
Dead Eyes sounds pretty metal, though. That sounds really cool.
It does. Through Dead Eyes. Through Dead Eyes sounds badass. Well, when Through Dead Eyes, not Three, comes out, man, I would love to have you back on.
I appreciate that. And thank you so much for having me. You know, I've enjoyed this. This is the first podcast I've done in a while, you know.
It's no problem, man. No problem, man. Anytime. Listen, everybody, get over to Amazon and grab your copies of End Dream, and also follow Darren on social media as well as YouTube. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and that's Darren Fry. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Peace.